Yeah, well, I think the basic challenge with gold is that there's been, a meaningful shift in the desire to hold gold relative to particularly U.S. dollars from, global central banks. That's been in place for a couple of years. And now increasingly you're seeing retail demand in one form or another come into the gold market, in part because it's a place where folks in Asia can store wealth that is not subject to capital controls, and in part because there's real questions about the the safety and security of holding savings in the U.S. federal government if you're a foreign investor. And so you put those two things together, that's creating a real squeeze on the gold price, because the challenge with gold is there's essentially a fixed supply. And actually, if anything, that fixed supply is going down because the supply that we're seeing right now is a function of prices from 10 years ago. And that's how long the production cycle takes. And so supply is going down at a time when demand's going up. The only way that that gets met is through scrap. And the challenge with scrap is that in order to get people to scrap their gold, people are very sensitive to the price. Like, what will it take, to get ads back on television, to get, scrap, gold for cash? Prices got to rise even more. And so that's the challenge. Is it's very hard to meet incremental demand in the gold market. And it doesn't take much financial demand to really create a squeeze on the gold price higher, which is what we've seen.
What do you make of the argument that gold is signaling something? That something could be higher inflation, it could be wars on the horizon, it could be market volatility for equities, and thus gold is acting as a hedge, maybe preemptively. Do any of these theories make sense to you?
Well, I think it's probably not gold as an inflation hedge. I think what it is
Mm.
it's a geopolitical hedge, and certainly I'd say, and an uncertainty hedge. Gold benefits from those two environments where there's a lot of policy uncertainty and where there's a great deal of geopolitical conflict. And if you look at the current circumstance, both of those things are elevated. Uh, and so it makes sense that it's getting a bid. The problem is it's like hard to connect that to, like, a stat came out and therefore gold rises the way you can with, in many cases, stocks and bonds. And so it's a looser relationship than what you see with other macroeconomic factors.